Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Pondscape. This is a new game coming from Pink Troubadour and Tomáš Holek, who is probably best known for SETI at this point, but a relatively new designer still nonetheless. So this is one that we picked up at Essen this year, and I was really excited to try it because of one, the designer, and two, the artwork, and I'm just always on the lookout for these small little games that I can play on a weeknight, and this seemed like it was going to fit that bill. So let's check it out and see how it plays, then I'll come back up and let you know what I thought. Pondscape is a competitive game in which over the course of 15 turns, players are going to build out their own, pondscape, I guess, or their own landscape here, consisting of water and landscape, maybe some food, and some frog cards. So you're going to take 15 turns on which you will draft a card and play a card on each turn, and there might be some instant actions and stuff like that. Once everyone has taken their 15 turns, they will have 15 cards played out in front of them in a 5x3 grid, and you'll move to scoring. Highest score is going to win. So your turn is going to look like, I said, first drafting a card, and from that you're going to look over here. You're always going to have three options available, one of three columns. So let's say in this case that I have this opening hand, maybe I want to start going to this frog, so I would draft this card here into my hand. At this point, I'm going to look at which column I drafted that card from. Here it was in the 2 column, so I'm going to take the jumping frog and move him 1-2 spaces. After that, I look at my hand and I can play any of the cards. I can either play it face up or face down. Face down is, of course, just going to be give you some symbols, maybe some instant action, some endgame scoring, stuff like that. Face up is going to give you the actual frog or landscape scoring opportunity for the end of the game. So there are no other placement options other than it has to be within the 5x3 grid, but it doesn't have to be adjacent to anything already played or anything like that. So let's say off the bat here, I want to get into landscapes. I'm going to go ahead and play this card out. Let's say I'll just go ahead and put it right in the middle. The first thing you're going to do is look at the card and see if it has any instant abilities. In this case, it does. So when I play this, I can take and move the frog 1 or 2 additional spaces. Let's say that I just want to move him 1. So I would move him, put him right there. And then I have the opportunity to tuck a card under these 2 symbols, 1 card each. Let's say that I know that I want to keep these 2 cards. This one maybe I don't care so much about, so I will tuck it, and I'll decide to put him in my dragonfly there because I'm hoping to get a dragonfly symbol. So I'd go ahead and just tuck it under that pile. We'll come back to how that'll score after we play out the game here. At that point, my turn would be over. This should have already refilled. It does refill immediately, and then it would go to the next player. Same thing. They're going to draft a card, move the frog, play a card, and take any instant abilities that might come of that. Like I said, the other thing you can always do is play the card upside down. So if I put this one here, for example, it still has that instant ability. You would take that action again. Let's fast forward this here a little bit and see what the 5x3 grid might look like, and then we can talk about the scoring. End of the game, my tableau might look something like this, or my pond. And you're just going to go through each frog and calculate your score for that frog. Now, you're probably not going to have all the frogs, and even if you do, you might not score all of them because they're going to have different ways that they score. For example, this guy up here, he wants you to have 4 cards tucked under 1 of your food cards. As you can see, I didn't quite get that. So this grouping would score me nothing. But let's keep going here. This one here is a special action that allowed me to draw 2 cards, but it's not getting me any points right now. Looking at this frog here, we can see that in this group needs to be next to 1 water card, which the group is actually next to 2 water cards, 1 other type of frog, which it's next to 2 other frogs, so that's okay, and next to at least 1 of these landscape cards here, or water feature cards, and it is. So therefore, we have met this scoring condition. That means this group is going to score. I would look at the score sheet here and see that for a group of 4, I will get 32 points. So this frog grouping is worth 32 points. This frog here, he wants to have at least 3 different kinds of frogs in the pondscape here. We can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different. So I would get to score him, and he's only a grouping of 1. That's going to be worth 5 points. This one here wants to have at least 4 water tiles. I only have 2, so he would not score. We're also going to take and look at any points that are going to come from these. In this case, he has none, as they are more about instant actions. Sometimes it does just give points or give points for the row or column that it's in. In this case, I don't have that. We look at points on the back of the water feature card. So in this case here, I would have 10 points. And then we're going to look at our different water feature cards. They're going to score as well. Looking back here, we see I have 1, 2, 3 different water features. If you had 2 water features the same, that would still only be 3 because you want to have different ones. So a grouping of 4, I'm sorry, not a group of 4 different ones, 3 different ones in this case is going to be worth 21 points. And then finally, you're going to look at your food cards on the board and score them based on how much food is in your pond. So for example, here under this one, on this blue bug, I'm going to go through and count how many of those I have showing in the left-hand corner. Let's say here I have 1. So this card would be worth 1 point. Let's take a look at one that might be a little bit bigger here. For example, this one I have 2 in. So this one, again, I would count the different symbols. 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy gives me a wild one, so maybe I would use it now. So I'm going to say that that is a pink dragonfly as well. So I have 5 times 2. This grouping would be worth 10 points. You do that for each of the food sources. Of course, if you don't have the symbol, that card is worth nothing. You're going to add up all of those things, the different frog scorings, the pond scorings, the natural, the landscapes here, and then your food cards. Highest points are going to win. First up, a positive here. I was really impressed with the artwork in this. I found it to be very cohesive and very approachable and just very energetic at the same time. It's extremely pleasing, and I found that to be throughout the whole game. It was very consistent. I liked that a lot. I did think the card quality was a little bit not thin, but it didn't have a linen finish, and so I would have liked to see a little bit better quality on the cards, but I don't have any long-term concerns. They just don't feel as good when you're trying to shuffle them. I did really like that they went with a smaller sized card. When I first took it out, I didn't think I was going to like that, but it does help keep it a manageable play area on a table. You can comfortably fit 4 people playing this game on a regular sized table. So for a tableau builder specifically, I was really grateful for that. If they'd gone with regular playing cards, it just would have had too big of a footprint. So I was glad that the footprint, I think, fits this box size and kind of what my expectation was. Now moving into the gameplay, I also found that to be really pleasing. It has a really neat arc to the game. In the beginning, you feel like you have so many options. You're like, I can do anything. What kind of frog do I want to go into? Do I want to have a really big pond, or do I want to try to a pond with lots of frogs, or lots of open water? Or do I want to kind of get into this tucking cards and really maximize that end of the game multiplication? So you just feel all these strategies coming at you at once, and then you start to get in the groove, narrowing it down, seeing different combos in your hand. Well, these 2 cards and these 2 frogs are going to work well together. This one's not. Ooh, this one is actually going to be a really good one to turn upside down because it's going to give me the right symbols I need or something like that. So you're organizing your hand as you go, or what I found based on the ones that I don't really care about, those would be great cards to tuck. The ones that maybe I want to kind of go into this strategy, I'm not sure yet, and at the front of my hand are these are going to be the next 2 or 3 that I play. And so it has that really exciting arc where at the beginning you're like, I can do it all, but I don't really know where to go. You start to get in the groove, and then you start playing, and then the end of the game just sneaks up on you. It's only 15 turns, only 15 cards that you're playing out, and then you really have to slow down and say, okay, what card I play really matters. I'm finalizing my scoring here and my last scoring opportunities. Which leads me to something else, is the actual drafting of the cards. I really appreciated that decision space as well, and which card are you going to draft? Sometimes you might take it because it's a frog that you want, of course, and you want to have bigger groups of the same types of frogs as long as you can meet their scoring condition. You also might take it because it has the symbols you want. Or maybe you're just not going for that. There's one frog in here that has to have at least 4 water spaces on the board. And so in that case, you want to maybe take the ones that have the extra points on the back because you know you're playing them upside down. So why not take the 5 points? So I'd like, again, that additional layer of decisions that you have as you're drafting the card. Why am I taking this card, and what am I going to do with it? Or I don't like any of these cards. It doesn't really matter, but I want to make sure that jumping frog ends up on the right spot because I hope to tuck cards this turn. So that's 3 different reasons you might draft a card, and that's just one part of your turn. So in a game that has very limited turns like this, just 15, I love that it packs so many decisions in it in that one turn without it feeling like overwhelming, that you have so many different options. It still stays in that kind of welcoming game mindset or weeknight game mindset that's not going to be bogged down by all these rules. So I really, really liked that as well. Ultimately, it's kind of going to feel like a set collection game with a little bit of tableau in there and maybe kind of hand management as well as you try to build up these sets to maximize the end game. So I really enjoyed this game. I'm going to come down at an 8 on it. I found myself comparing it to 2 games that I really enjoy, Castle Combo and Forest Shuffle, and I think it falls squarely right between those 2. It's going to feel like Castle Combo with the drafting and also with the building out the grid of cards in front of you that is going to build your scoring opportunities. And it's going to feel like Forest Shuffle, where you're trying to couple the cards together to score off each other and kind of build this ecosystem. I like both of those games, and this falls right into a great category with them. Reminds me of both, and it's one that I'm just keep getting excited to try and build a new pond here to see what I can do. So one that I'm enjoying on weeknights with friends, introducing people. Definitely come down at an 8 for it. Very much enjoy Pondscape, and if you like I said, Forest Shuffle or Combo, I definitely recommend you checking it out. Thanks for joining me here at the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla. We'll see you next time.
Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Bassel.